Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Okay, at this time, we will have a public comment period of no longer than 30 minutes. Each person will be given 3 minutes. And we'll go in the order that you signed up. Mr. Longman?
My name is Alan Longman, 234 Hamilton Road, Bond Level, North Carolina. Today we come here with police presence, or deputies presence. Many of them we find intimidating. There are many people, blacks, many people who have been hurt by the police here, and won't be able to testimony or say anything because they have to walk through all these people to get here. It's intimidating to everyone, many nationalities. I find it, I don't know if they're here to intimidate the commissioners themselves. Did they bring them here? Did you? Ms. McCoy, are you happy with what's present outside the door here? The point is, it should never be. We should have the right to speak and talk without being intimidated. We also asked the county to subpoena certain individuals to give testimony in court, a right we have as citizens. But the county doesn't want them, their own employees, to testify. And we find that this is going to come to a point where the state has to step in to handle the problems you have with the jail, the many people who were busted and fired. We have deputies that were caught in drug dealing and have not been prosecuted by the DA's office. Why is that? And why does the commission think this is okay to have 4 officers out there? And I believe it's because things are going so bad with the sheriff's department, the jail, that the state should have been asked to come in a long time ago. And I think now we should be paying double and 2.5 times salary and have deputies, have other people do the work. I think it's time that we took responsibility for our own county, its own employees, and that people be held accountable for the way they act. They need to be subpoenaed. They need to give testimony. Otherwise, they're covering up for something. And I don't think the county should be held victim by the sheriff's department. And it looks that way. No matter what you say, that's what it looks like. And nor could the people in the community be made to be intimidated to the point where they can't speak, or groups of people in the community can't speak because they have 4 or 5 deputies outside the door, as if they're criminals. Why? We're not criminals. Why all of a sudden did this happen? Because things went wrong with the sheriff's department, and you're covering it up. You're doing to keep it silent. It's political times. You want to keep it quiet because you don't want your candidates to be heard. If they aren't any good, they can't face the truth of what's going on or face criticism. This is democracy. They shouldn't be in office, and they should definitely not be running for office. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Longman. Ms. Elizabeth Longman?
Elizabeth Longman. I address this to all citizens who go out there and claim the United States with its red, white, and blue. I address it to all those who have signed up at the military and said they would die for what our nation believes in. We are familiar with, we hold these truths to be self-evident. But I ask us to remember the other paragraph that starts, but when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. You have no right to put armed guards before you to let people come here and talk. We have suffered under Sheriff Coates and his tyranny. We get beaten, we get tasered, we get killed, we get arrested. But you tell us that is what we have to answer to. That is what we have to answer to.
Please control
to come
yourself,
and talk.
Ms. Longman.
I can talk.
Please control yourself.
I am well controlled. You control yourself. You are clearly out of control, Mr. Witherspoon. If it's my voice that seems violent to you, it is your action that is complete war to me. Shame on you, and do not feel that the citizens of Harnett will continue to endure this kind of tyranny. I ask everyone who felt that they are patriots, those who call themselves red, white, and blue, who will raise that flag and go and march on that Capitol, to come and march on these county commissioners for putting the sheriff's department, who has no jurisdiction legally over this building, to come and stand between the citizens of Harnett and their opportunity to address their grievances or support for the county commissioners. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong.
Thank you, Ms. Longman. Ms. Angela Scarborough.
Sit there and you tell her to calm down. Maybe we have human emotions. Maybe y'all should try it sometime. Okay, you guys have suppressed me. You knew what was going on. I just got evidence of all this. Christopher Appel over here. Okay, so everybody doesn't know what's going on.
Ma'am,
No.
ma'am, you can address the board. Do not address anyone in the audience.
So, let's see. You all knew what's going on. Matt, Nicole, in my Carolina Lakes, you sit there, you thought you were a great guy. You know what? You are part of all this. Alan, you're wrong about this. They're not down by the sheriff. They're in with the sheriff. I have evidence of all this crap. Okay? You guys video tamper. You sit there and you thought I was a counselor and I was a teacher. I would just go down. That's what you guys do. Falsely arrest me and keep putting me down. After you guys caused me to be on oxygen because Dawson doused me. Dawson, this is another facade that's funny. She's a preacher. That's hilarious. Doesn't mention anything about a correctional officer. Okay? Sits there and douse me. I'm unconscious for 8 minutes. You throw me in a cell. Don't even bring me to the hospital. I'm having seizures. I'm having so many things happen with my brain and body. And y'all cover it up. It's not even me on the damn camera going in. I know what happened to me. Because you guys didn't think everybody here didn't think I would know what would happen to me because my brain, 78, I was hypoxia, I have brain damage because of you all and because of who you hire. And you all know the tampering's going on. I have evidence of everything. Okay, I sent it to an analyst. This didn't even occur. This was all stitched together. And I knew it didn't occur because I knew that didn't happen. I know what happened that day. You guys all should be ashamed of yourself. You say you're for the people. No, you're not. If you were for the people, you have the power to suspend the sheriff. Because guess what? Any evidence from here on out that any lawyer should not be admissible in court because he's tampered with the evidence. And then you guys want to go ahead and, when I file for the sheriff for the videotape, what happens? I get arrested again on felony charges. That's a shocker. I don't do felony stuff. Y'all make up charges to keep me down. And then what happens when I'm in jail again? I'm denied my oxygen. I go into seizures again. What is wrong with you people? Oh my God, you people, that's what got me beat in the first place. I said, what is wrong? After she threw me down for no reason. I was crying. She threw me to the ground. I said, what is wrong, you people? You people, I'll show you people. I'm from Maine. That's the way we say you guys, y'all. I'm sorry if she misconstrued my words. But now I'm on oxygen while y'all sit up here. When you know you have the power to suspend the sheriff, you won't because you're involved with the sheriff. Because you knew this was going on, okay? Because Mr. Appel over here, he wouldn't answer my email today, wouldn't allow subpoenas to go through because I talked to one IT, the video's all there. The video's all there, but you guys won't release it, will you?
Must be there for 5 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We have all that evidence too. So why don't you guys do what's right? Sitting there denying me a claim? You guys took my lives from me. You took my teaching, my counseling. You took my 3 sons from me because I have brain damage. I can't, you know what? Y'all should be a damn shame to yourself. Every single one of you because you're involved. You said you want better for the community. Shut up!
Time's up. Please.
You took on 3 years of my damn life. You gonna have me arrested?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I bet you will because you're part of it. No shit. See you in court tomorrow, pal. Bring the subpoenaed people.
It's my turn.
I apologize for her language. Obviously, she's got some problems.
Okay.
Are you Ms. Leach?
Vanessa Leck, that's me.
Leck,
It's my
okay,
turn.
yes,
Okay, well.
thank you.
Okay. All right, I got my own little timer, but it's nice you guys have yours too. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, I have packets. Are you the county manager? Yes. Okay, here's one for you. Made it because I thought, you know, the county manager's flag. So here's one for duplicates for everybody. There you go. Contact information here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Alrighty. All right, do you want me to say my address? Is that part of
Please,
it? Okay.
yeah.
My name is Vanessa Leck. My address is 302 North 10th Street, Irwin, North Carolina, 28339. Former county manager Paula Stewart stated, quote, "We all got together and felt like the first step would be training our own workforce in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And, quote, it will be mandatory for all county employees, quote, and she was correct. This is absolutely the correct approach. Diversity, inclusion, and anti-bias training needs to be mandatory and immediate for all Harnett County government employees. This training needs to be expansive and extensive in order to fully address multiple types of discrimination, inclusivity, and bias-related issues that could arise when working in a governmental position with the public. The training must be mandatory, regular, and constantly evolving. This diversity and inclusion training needs to include, but not be limited to, that women do serve in all branches of the U.S. military and are military veterans with equal rights as male military veterans. Instant customer service surveys definitely need to be immediately implemented and readily available for the public, complete with a diversity section built into the questionnaire to help determine if Harnett County employees are behaving appropriately with the public and to further address diversity, inclusion, and anti-bias training needs. Discrimination and bigotry were the driving force behind the proposed legislation, House Bill 324, recently vetoed by Governor Cooper. I'm grateful that Governor Cooper vetoed this bill in September 2021. I see you guys looking at my other comments. Those are the full-length version because I timed myself before I showed up. So you're getting the extended cut. This is a shortened one. Wake County hired a director of diversity, equity, and inclusion in November 2021 and also has a PTA Council Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. I am proud of Wake County, North Carolina for having the leadership to move diversity, equity, and inclusivity forward in the face of active, ongoing, and widespread oppression and bigotry. There is a difference between patriotism and bigotry. There is a difference between Marxism or communism and diversity training. This concludes the shortened version of my remarks during my authorized 3 minutes here with you today. You have a copy of my full-length remarks complete with printed references relevant to my talk. Do you have any questions for me at this time? Is that a no?
This is not a interactive.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to check and not be rude. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you. Michael Collins.
Where do I send it?
Hello, my name is Michael Collins. I live at 5821 NC 210 North. Kind of a lifelong resident of the county, and I just want to bring a couple things to the attention of the commissioners. One is I wanted to report a theft. As I look at our map of our county now, it looks like that the town of Lillington is stealing sections of the county that are not contiguous to the town of Lillington. So there's a new trend in the county that looks like cities are annexing areas that are well away from their boundaries. And I think that will create problems long term as we have residents who have more in common with the rest of the county and less in common with the cities that they are, or the towns that they are annexed into. I'm sure that that is for development reasons, but I think towns will grow most effectively and the county will have its character retain its character better if cities and towns, really towns in our county, grow contiguously, where their boundaries are extended slowly, not jumping 3-4 miles away from the actual boundary of the town and grabbing chunks of our county. Second item, and this is really around development issues. The second item is densities within the county. We're actually going to have, probably within the next year and a half, there'll be more people living in areas that are again in the town of Lillington who are not contiguous to the county of Lillington. There'll be more of their population that does not have a common boundary with the incorporated town of Lillington. So there'll be issues around the interest of those citizens versus the actual residents of the contiguous town. Not a big issue, but it's just something to think about as these trends continue within our county, that we don't become a big polka dotted area of pseudo towns. Then I want to talk about the issue of environment. One of the things that's happening with the larger developments in our county is they are creating a density within the rural environment that is actually higher than within the city environments in our county. So that density is creating some issues with the environment quickly. One is a lot of those are actually changing the soil type. We have sandy loam. They are coming in with packed clay, so that the nature of that actual soil is that it creates twice the runoff of the previous soil that was there. Then that will be in addition to the 25% coverage of impervious surfaces, roofs and driveways and roads. So we need to look carefully at not only the broad view of those developments, but when you actually change the soil type, you really create what was a 10-year rain event becomes an every year rain event. And that will impact the water quality and the adjoining properties. So those are issues that I thought I would just bring to the attention of the commissioners because I see them evolving and at a faster pace as we see the new development in our county. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. I can't read this last name, Earl Clack?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have some names.
I thought it probably was because I looked at your address and it's Clack Lane.
I don't know if I'm in the right place or not. I'm here to talk about my taxes a little bit. Is this the right place?
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I know. I can tell you a lot of examples. I just ain't gonna take no 3 minutes. I promise you that you guys are busy. But like last year, my taxes on my double wide is 70-something miles, $59,000. This year it's $113,000. I know, is this getting where really, not just me, I'm sure about everybody here about the same way. You can't hardly afford what you got now. But according to this, my taxes are gonna probably double. And I got one lot's 150 by 155, and they got this thing here last year was $700. This year's $36.80. And I ain't trying to be smart or nothing. I'm just telling you what's in black and white. And I've got a mobile home park. That sound like you might have plenty of money, but I don't. I don't charge $120 a spot. I got 6 mobile homes on it. Last year was worth $50,000. This year's worth $184,000. I know if they cut me a check, I'll sell everything I got, get in my car and leave what I got and walk off. Seriously, I'm not going to get into it, and I'm not trying to be smart. I'm just saying I hope maybe you guys can help these folks as well as myself on this property tax stuff. It's got really, really, really out of hand and ridiculous. It's going to be hard to, like people now notice they've been paying $1,500 a year for their home. This time it's going to be around $3,000, and that's just. I mean, I figured one time, if I don't know what it is per thousand, ever how it goes, but the way I figure it's going to cost me around $500 a month just to keep what I got, just to pay taxes on this stuff. And I think there's enough folks in Harnett County they could really lower these taxes where we could all live, you know. I understand you need to go up on tax. Dude, get some of these gentlemen like sitting like that to risk his life. Let him have some raises if he's gonna keep his taxes up like that. I always say the law officers should be getting more money, way more than what they're getting now, but they're not. And I'm not here to talk about politics neither. But listen, I appreciate you guys' time, and I hope you guys, y'all are ones in charge of all this stuff, who is, that you could help us folks to try to keep what we do have anyhow. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Clack. One thing, Mr. Clack, what you've got, you've got a notice of your property values.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's not your tax bill. And
I understand.
as we work through the budget for the coming year, we will make adjustments which are required by the state law. We will make adjustments in the tax rate,
Right.
and then we will send out tax bills. So there may be, some people will see an increase, some people may see a decrease because of the lower rate.
I don't mind a little increase, right, a little, but not no 100, 200%. I don't mind an increase a little bit. I'm not here to say, want something for nothing. I ain't wanting for nothing. Something that's fair, you know, it's like better than what this here show. But I understand what you said. I didn't know you was gonna prorate it, but high as it is, if you prorate, you got to come way on down on that to really, you know,
Right.
help out.
So-
You understand?
So, yes, sir, I just wanted you to understand about the
I got
the
you
tax
covered.
rate
Yeah.
versus the tax value.
Yes, sir, I got you covered. Yes, sir.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right, since we've gone to a sign-up situation, this is new, tonight's the first night we've had it. Is there anyone that wants to speak that did not get an opportunity to sign up? Yes, sir.
I'm Jerry Baldwin, and I have a, I'm Jerry Baldwin, and I've never been to one of these meetings, so I didn't know I had to sign up to speak. So I apologize for that. But I came to complain about my tax rate also. I have some prime swampland. Y'all call it wetland. Dad bought this in '57. He wanted to put a pond on it, couldn't get a permit to do it because it's too valuable as wetland. Now, y'all trying to jack the price up. Last year it was valued at $21,000. Now it's valued at over $160,000. I'm here to sell it to you if you want it for that price. And that's all I've got to say.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
I can't explain why the change in value, but I'm sure if you have an opportunity, or if you would like to appeal it, there's a process that you can use to appeal your tax value that you got.
Okay, I carried pictures recently taken of the swamp and turned it in at the courthouse. I also brought an extra copy in case they got lost between the courthouse and here. To show you what the swamp looks like. Okay. And I would be glad to walk with any of y'all around this swamp if you would like to see it. But it's not valued at that. The only thing it's good for is to keep people right, not under my door.
Again, there are steps to take to appeal the value.
That's what I thought I was doing here today.
Pardon me?
I thought that's what I came here for today to do. But,
No, there is a formal process.
If you would get with this gentleman here.
Yeah, I'll be glad to talk to you about what you've got right there.
anytime you want to.
Well, in just a few minutes, you and I will talk.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
May I please speak?
Please come forward and state your name and address.
My name is Angela Collins. I live at 5821 NC 210 in Angier, North Carolina. I hadn't really planned on speaking tonight. My husband spoke for us pretty much. Where we live is right beside the huge complex that LGI Homes is building, you know, where the big water tower is. And we have, we have a little farm there with some woods. and we have a little pond. And the property line for their development is very close to our pond. And in fact, in one area, it's actually on the shoreline. And then it goes up and away from our pond. Where they have, I'm very concerned about the watershed. I noticed on the agenda you had a lot of things, going on about our water. We have water in Harnett County when we sell water. And it seems like these developments aren't really taking into account the value of this resource. What's happening on our property is it just amazes me that it's been allowed. We actually contacted the EPA to come out and look at it. We were told that that was probably approved by the planning committee, which further shocked me. But what has happened is that they've built the earth up so that the drainage comes down right into our pond. I've watched the shoreline of my pond become a big silt field. My pond used to be the color, of dark blue and dark green, and now it's the color of this podium. We also have a creek on our property, and they've built the waste, I guess some kind of, waste thing there, and drainage is coming down into our pond, into the creek, as well as the pond. It just seems like, we're just destroying natural resources to build homes. And it seems like there could be a way for both to exist, to have healthy watershed, healthy waterways, and also have these housing developments. I noticed on Harnett Central Road, the same technique is being used, where big piles of earth have been moved to change the flow so that the flow goes into natural waterland. There's a huge swamp area there. I've been taking pictures there for years. It's a beautiful, pristine area. And so I've watched that water turn from this beautiful green blue color into the color of this podium, because all of this silt and drainage is coming from all of these construction sites. And now this is happening to my little piece of peace. My little pond is turning into a silt field. And I can't fathom why that would be okay for their drainage to come into our pond. And I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
I think ma'am, if you will contact.
I've already given my card to her husband and asked him to give me a call tomorrow.
Okay, if you will contact Mr. Locklear and his department, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to discuss it with you and figure out what's going on out there.
Well, I would appreciate it. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I'm going to close the public comment period. We've reached our 30-minute limit, and we will move to item 6 on the agenda. This is a proposed zoning change over on Highway 401. This came before us 2 months ago. We had a public hearing, and we tabled it, waiting for the owner to make some changes. I spoke with Randy Baker this afternoon, and I think each one of you has a handout. But according to Mr. Baker, the applicant has complied and is in the process of continuing to comply. And so based on that and based on Mr. Baker's recommendation, I make a motion that we approve this rezoning.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
Thanks, sir. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, I've been by there twice in the last 30 days, and it looks like they're making an effort to comply by having all the vehicles, I would say at least 10 feet off the right-of-way.
That was the report I got from Mr. Baker.
This is Commissioner McCoy. I just want to say that I'm in favor, simply because he did comply with what the county was asking of him. But I really didn't understand why I didn't do it before it came before the board. but nevertheless, it's done, and I'm very pleased because it was really necessary. Thank you.
Any further comments? If not, all in favor of this rezoning?
Want to read that statement.
Yeah. The requested rezoning to commercial is reasonable based on the history of non-residential uses on these parcels, as well as compatibility with Harnett County Land Use Plan. Therefore, the Harnett County Commissioners approved the rezoning request. And with that, all in favor of rezoning, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Okay, hearing none, the rezoning has been approved. All right. Item 7 is a discussion of, do you want to walk us through that, Mr. Trout, or Ira, you want to
I
walk
was
us
going to
through
come
it?
up too, but I'll just make a couple comments. The important part here is that we have a deadline that is approaching as it relates to the submission of great grants by internet service providers. We're supporting a number of internet service providers to see which can come through. And so this tonight is to gain some approval.
Yeah, I think he said it simply. I mean, I could add some more notes to that, but if you guys have any questions, I'm glad to answer that. The biggest thing is the due date for these applications are May 4th. The last voting meeting we have is May 2nd, and it just seems like it really put a lot of pressure on the providers who are already asking for this agreement and like to have it put in their package so they can do their final submission. So,
Mr. Chairman, based on the timeline that Mr. Hall has described that we're facing and the fairly detailed discussion we had on this topic at our recent work session, I would make a motion that we agree to work with these internet providers to pursue the great grants.
And
Second.
Do you also want to include with that allowing the county manager to sign those agreements as we move forward?
I'm fine with that.
yeah, that's what I was going to request. Thank you.
Do you have a question, Mr. McCoy?
No, yes, I do. And I was understanding that we will have 4 providers. Is that not right?
Right, we believe 4.
there's actually a total of 6 providers that have
6
come to
providers.
us and talked to us about it. There's only 5 that want agreements, and so we're going to pursue all 5 of the agreements with them. The 6th one just wants a letter of support. That was Tink.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, I agree.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, county manager's report.
I have nothing major tonight. You have a couple of reports that were included and some budget amendments. That is one of the things that we're really working hard right now as we enter into the last 2 months of our fiscal year, making sure that we address issues we've identified by making the appropriate budget amendments early in the process so that the funds are expended in the proper form with getting approval of budget amendments. So, and we're working diligently on the preparation of the budget, and I talked about that last time.
All right. Any new business to come before the board? Commissioners, anything? I don't believe we have need for a closed session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. We're adjourned.